What do you make of this trade from the Dallas side first, Dan?
Yeah, the move squarely puts the Cowboys as a playoff contending football team this coming season. I anticipate the Cowboys to be better than other people. And a couple months ago, Greeny, it was the Cowboys can be a playoff contender if two things happen. Number one, that Dak Prescott has to stay healthy. That hasn't been the case recently. And then two, they got to get a number two guy opposite CeeDee Lamb. George Pickens, in the chaos of the quarterback situation at Pittsburgh, averages like 15 yards a catch. So we're talking about adding that to a wide receiver opposite CeeDee Lamb that is going to get you about 100, 110 catches a season and push 1,500 plus yards. George Pickens, contract year. Yes, he's not a perfect type of player, but his ability to go down the field and make plays with an offensive line that I think is going to be one of the better ones in the NFL at the back end of the season. This squarely puts the Cowboys back into the we are a playoff contending football team.
What's going on, Bonnie, with the Get Down Podcast? We are back with another video. Before we dive into the video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and turn your notification bell on. That way you can be notified every time I drop videos on this channel. Well, it's a big story, but then it ain't a big story. I ain't even gonna go long on the video because it's like one of those trades or one of those news you get like in sports where it's like, okay, well, hey, it is what it is. And this is kind of that, I'm not saying George Pickens, he didn't do what he did with the Steelers and whatever the case was, but it's just more like, okay, they picking up George Pickens. The Cowboys picking up George Pickens. He's going to be number 2 with CeeDee Lamb. So it's more kind of those topics, those conversations that are talked about, and they had a little viral clip of him being happy, and they showed on the news as he was getting switched over, to the Cowboys and stuff. But it's just, I don't know, like I said, this ain't one of those news where it's like, oh, I gotta tune in. It's just like, oh, George Pickens going to the Cowboys? Oh, okay, cool. And that's how it be. So let's see what ESPN had to say about this. Let's dive into it. George Pickens trade. Grades for Cowboys Steelers and wide receiver deal. The Cowboys made a splash on Wednesday morning, agreeing to a trade for wide receiver George Pickens. They will send a 2026 third-round pick and a 2027 fifth-round pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers for Pickens and a 2027 sixth-round pick. The Cowboys have been searching for a legit wide receiver too, alongside CeeDee Lamb, and Pickens should elevate their offense. But is Pickens definitely the answer for Dallas? And did Pittsburgh get enough back in return? Yes. And no, or no for the first answer, and yes. However you want to view it. For me, it's no for the first answer, and then yes for the second one, or yes for both. No, however you view it. Let's grade both sides. Who actually won the deal? I'm elevating the trade based on multiple factors, including on-field impact, overall value for each side, salary cap implications, and the context of each team's short and long-term quarterback outlooks. Definitely that. Grading Pickens to Dallas. After passing on the wide receiver position entirely in this year's draft, the Cowboys finally got their second receiver to complement Lamb. Pickens is an excellent fit with Lamb too. He's an outside vertical receiver who will allow Lamb to maintain his heavy dosage of slot alignments in the Cowboys offense. Pickens ran go routes and deep phase 19% of the time last season, the 10th highest rate among receivers, with at least 300 routes ran. He managed 900 yards over 14 games in 2024 and hit 1,140 receiving yards in 2023, and he posted a strong 2.2 yards per route run both years. So those are some good stats right now that we do see with Pickens. Those are some manageable stats. And for him to come alongside with CeeDee Lamb as wide receiver too, this is a good thing. You don't want to take the spotlight and the shine off of CeeDee Lamb because that's their number one receiver. But now if CeeDee gets hurt or he goes down for the season, who you gonna throw to, Dak? You gotta have your number 2. So this is why they traded for Pickens to come to Dallas. But the stats right here, they're pretty good. They're really good. According to ESPN's player tracking-based receiver scores, Pickens has shown growth in his ability to get open since his rookie season. He had a 48 open score in 2022, but that rose to 70 and 68 the past 2 seasons. However, his catch score has dropped from a high of 99 in his rookie year to 72 in 2023, and then 40 last season. That looks like the profile of a player who could see positive regression, since the receiver's ability to get open is more stable from year to year than his ability to make catches over expectations. Now that last part I do agree with. I do. The receiver's ability, it gets better year after year, time after time, the more and more that you're playing, versus just his ability to catch. But to get more open, that becomes more stable. Because it doesn't happen your first rookie year. The more and more you play, you get to season 3, season 4, season 5 of your contract, it gets a little bit more stable. So on paper, this move makes plenty of sense for the Cowboys. As poorly as 2024 went for the team, the roster still has the same core as the one that went 12-5 in 2023, albeit with a different coach, and had a major weakness at receiver after Lamb. To give up Shea more than a 3rd-round pick for 1 year of Pickens is more reasonable, considering how much less it would cost the Cowboys, under $3.4 million, than if he were on the open market. But this move is not only made on paper. A big part of the reason Pickens is available is it seems the Steelers had enough of him. After Pickens had 2 unsportsmanlike penalties against the Bengals last season, Steelers coach Mike Tomlin said he's got a target on his back because he's George. He understands that, but he's got to grow up. He's got to grow up in a hurry. Then after the season, Tomlin said there's certainly obviously more room for growth there. Earlier in the season, there were questions over Pickett's effort, too, though Tomlin dismissed those concerns at the time. So the Steelers was like, hey, you know what? We're kind of done with this. We're going to wash our hands clean of it. You know, we can't take it anymore. And as a coach, when you're looking at all the players individually, some, you know, they know how to maintain their emotions, they know how to keep it in, or they know how to just not cause racket throughout the season. Then you got the other players where you got to keep a close eye on them. And like I always mention, Antonio Brown, he was a prime example of behaving the way that he did, especially playing with Tom Brady, the GOAT, if not one of the GOATs in NFL. You know, you got those players where you know they're going to be good, but then you got the ones on the other side, that you got to be like, oh no, this might be the end for you. You know, I don't think we have anything else here to offer you. And that's exactly what happened with George and Mike Tomlin and the Steelers organization, and everybody coming into agreement, hey man, we don't got nothing left for you. You know, so this would be good if we just kind of trade you off to another team, you know. And that is exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. The risk here is majorly by the 1-year commitment. And if I were the Cowboys, I would want to keep it that way. They should let him play out the season and probably let him walk next season in exchange for the possibility of compensatory pick. If Dallas signs Pickens to an extension before the 2025 season, I will substantially reduce its grade here. For the Steelers, this is good compensation. The league widely knew they wanted more. They wanted to move on from Pickens, and they still got day 2 pick back. Pittsburgh already acquired Pickens' replacement in DK Metcalf earlier this offseason. While the two wideouts could have played together, there's an obvious overlap in their styles, and it certainly appears that Metcalf acquisition was in anticipation of losing Pickens. However, the Steelers once have again a receiver problem. Behind Metcalf on the depth chart are Calvin Austin III, Robert Woods, and Roman Wilson. The last piece of the puzzle is how this relates to Aaron Rodgers. Without a second receiver next to Metcalf, Pittsburgh is that much further from being an immediate contender. That makes bringing in Rodgers a little harder to justify, even if the Steelers' option at quarterback are extremely limited with the draft in the rearview mirror. Perhaps Kirk Cousins could be another route. I guess we'll see. And then you see at the end, you got the grade for the Cowboys, a B-, grade for the Steelers, B+. So while this was a great thing for the Cowboys to be able to get George Pickens, on the downfall for the Steelers, they got to have another receiver there with Metcalf. Another top one, you know. You always got to have your number one receiver and your number two receiver. And then everybody else just kind of falls in the back. If those two top receivers go down, then you get the other players. But you always got to have your top two receivers. The quarterback can run this route, go deep here, go deep there, run up the middle, whatever the case is. Whatever the case is, whatever game plan you're running, whatever play it is, you got to have your two wide receivers mainly there. And, you know, like it stated, it says, however, the Steelers once again have a receiver problem. Behind Metcalf on the depth chart are Calvin Austin III, Robert Woods, and Roman Wilson. So these are just more of the backup receivers. They're still not the top two. You know, so Dallas did win overall when it came to this, the trade that they did with the Steelers. The Dallas did win, you know, thumbs up to them. So now they got CeeDee Lamb and they got George Pickens. So, fire, dynamic offense. You know, you still got Dak there too. He still got some fire in him too. You know, I'm not gaslighting the Cowboys or a Cowboy fan. I'm just saying. You got your number one receiver, which is CeeDee Lamb, and now you guys have a number two receiver, which is George Pickens. So, you know, congrats to that. But I'm sure y'all gonna have a good season with George Pickens. Hey, we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. But if that is all, again, subscribe to the channel. Subscribe. We're almost at 100 subscribers. Once we get there, let's keep running up and get more and more subscribers. Keep sharing the channel too with anyone and everyone that you know. And don't forget to turn your notification bell on. That way you can be notified every time I drop videos on this channel. Bonnie with the Get Down podcast. We gotta dig deep. This is Bonnie with the Get Down podcast. We gotta dig deep with these topics when it comes to your favorite team or favorite player. We gotta dig deep. We dug deep with this one. If that is all, I will see you guys in the next video. Y'all stay blessed.